Hi everybody, my name is Cheyenne. Welcome back to my channel. For those of you that are new here, I try to put out content that involves my personal struggles with violent relationships, mental health awareness, living with a stalker. You can check all of those videos out on my page. Sometimes I'll talk about a true crime case that is absolutely out of this world and unique in its own special way. But today I'm going to talk about something that is very dear to my heart, that I live with every day, and that is PTSD, otherwise known as post-traumatic stress syndrome. So this is something that I have been dealing with for the past 2.5 years, coming up on 3 years. And it's very real. It takes over your life. It changes everything, and it affects you on a daily basis, whether in regards to minute details or much larger aspects of your life. So I just want to kind of go back to the start. If you watched my previous stalker videos, you will know that 2.5 years ago, I fell off of a balcony that didn't have a guardrail. And this was a house that was in the south of France, and I was in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of vineyards, and I was on the second floor. And I had insomnia that night. I was very stressed out. I could not sleep, and I just went out on the terrace to get some air. And I fell. And I fell and completely pulverized my left foot, so my heel, which then unfortunately developed into an extremely bad diagnosis of arthritis that was eating away at my joints in my ankle. So I was suffering on a daily basis, and I was in the south of France for 6 months. 6 months, excuse me. It was only coffee in my mug this morning, I promise. For 6 months in the south of France before I came back to Brittany, to my family, and tried to find a surgeon that would operate on my foot, which was just getting worse and worse every day. And I finally found a surgeon. Here's Malone. And he did reconstructive ankle surgery. So now I'm finally at a point where I can look forward to physical therapy and have the cast be taken off before my birthday. Shout out to all you cancers out there. But I want to talk about why I developed this PTSD, because it's not directly correlated to this accident. It's what happened during the 6 months that I was stuck in the south of France in a wheelchair. So when I was in the south of France, I was supposed to be looked after by a family friend. Now, when the accident happened, this person, whom we'll call Vlad was supposed to take care of me, and he was supposed to watch over me. And once this accident happened, obviously I couldn't walk. I had a huge gash on my foot. The surgery was completely botched. It looked like I had been bitten by a great white shark. I was in chronic pain from dawn till dusk and thereafter in the middle of the night. I mean, I could not sleep. It was atrocious. It was awful. And he was supposed to take care of me. I had also fractured my vertebra, so I had to wear a corset. So I'm in this wheelchair with this corset. I can't move. I'm in so much pain. And I realized that this person's good intentions were actually masking what his true intentions were. You see, this person thought that because I teach yoga and I have my little yoga studio here in Brittany, Buddha 54, he thought that he would make money off of me because he was receiving unemployment, and this guy is not 20 years old. Why don't you triple that? And he wanted to make money off of me by having me film yoga videos all day, posting them online, and just basically having people sign up, pay for memberships, and make money off of me. I did not know this at the time, and I did not know that this person was secretly relying on me financially, that there was this whole devious game plan behind all this. So I started to realize pretty quickly that this person was not going to let me go without a fight. Now, mind you, I'm in the middle of vineyards, in the middle of nowhere. And when I mean nowhere, I'm talking deliverance nowhere. And this person started to drink more and more. And when I mean drink, I mean bringing back boxes of wine every day, using my credit card to pay for this wine, begging his parents, who already had one foot in the grave, to send him money to spend because he didn't have any, but he was supposed to be this very famous person in Paris and established, but it was all a lie. It was a facade. And I was stupid enough to believe that this person was grounded, was going to take care of me. If you watch my previous videos, you'll know why I needed to leave Brittany for a break. And I was just supposed to go to the south of France for some peace and quiet. To resource myself, to regain some inner strength. But that's not what happened at all. My worst nightmare happened. In fact, I wouldn't wish that nightmare on a redheaded stepchild. Pardon my French. So he was very angry when my accident happened because this meant that I couldn't have him film me do yoga all day. So he was in a panic and he needed money because he didn't have any. So when it wasn't using my credit cards, it was begging his parents for money. He, like I said, would start bringing back boxes of wine and drinking constantly. I was sleeping on a mattress on the floor. Yeah, I was sleeping on a mattress on the floor in the state I was in. So this person took my credit card and thought that it would be better to spend it on boxes of wine instead of spending it on a bed for me. So no, I spent my days in a wheelchair and my nights on a thin mattress on the floor. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. This person was verbally abusive, calling me every name in the book, saying I was worthless, that everybody hated me, my family hated me, everybody was using me, he was the only person that cared about me. And when I would fight back verbally and stand up for myself, well, he didn't like that. at all, especially after having a box of wine. And it started with the insults. Then it started with screaming at me. And when I mean screaming, I mean having his mouth 2 centimeters away from my ear and screaming at me. Then he would start pushing me out of my wheelchair because in his drunken stupor, he thought that I had insulted him when all I was doing was staring at the television screen. We had this little TV, and at night it was just watching movies or television shows. So in his drunken stupor, he would push me out of my wheelchair constantly and keep screaming at me. He, in the mornings, starting every day, now mind you, this lasted 6 months, every morning at 7 o'clock in the morning, he would start blasting the radio, the news, full blast. So every morning at 7 a.m., I was awoken. And mind you, I was sleeping very poorly. I was exhausted. I wasn't healing. I was in this catatonic state, ravaged by fright, by thinking this was the end of the world. This was it for me. I had no way of contacting anybody. And he never left me alone, so I could never have a private conversation with my mother. And I was in a loft on the 2nd story, so I had no way of escaping. I was stuck. So again, like I said, every morning, blaring the radio, getting woken every morning, and then having him make me call everybody he knew on Facebook to show them, oh, look, she's in a wheelchair. You know, this is what happened to her. And then saying really personal things about my life to all of these people and basically trying to get back into their good graces because he wanted money. That's basically what it was. And using me as a pawn to tug at their heartstrings. Like, oh, look, she's in a wheelchair, but she's a great yoga instructor. We need funding. And if I said anything, I would get pushed out of my wheelchair or screamed at, so I kept my mouth shut. Meanwhile, I'm not healing. I'm in so much pain, and I am being forced to spend my days from 7 o'clock in the morning until God knows when at night, because he would not stop drinking, talking on FaceTime, listening to him scream. It was awful. But then it started to get physical, which was extremely difficult. Then he started to hit me. So he would hit me with the palm of his hand because he said it didn't leave marks. So he would constantly be punching walls and headbutting the closet door. But he would, which was just frightening on its own, he would start screaming because he would freak out because there was no money and his plan didn't work. And he would start headbutting walls and closets and punching walls and punching closets. And then he would start slapping me so hard that it would leave these yellow bruises across my cheek and on the insides of my nose. Constantly. Then it escalated. One time he pushed me out of my wheelchair, straddled me, and started to strangle me. And I thought I was going to die. I thought, this is it. This is how I die, because this guy is absolutely crazy. He is so drunk. God knows what's going on in his mind, being that he headbutts the wall almost every single day, and he's drinking boxes of wine. I thought he's going to kill me. I couldn't breathe, and then at the last minute, He just got up, and I was left on the floor crying. Another time, he came at me with a knife and held a knife under my throat, screaming at me. I thought he was going to slit my throat. I mean, I can't even describe what that feels like. It's just, you're in shock, you're holding your breath, and every second that you're holding your breath feels like an hour. It was awful. It was awful. I mean, it just became a daily occurrence. It really did. And he would gaslight me and make me think it was my fault. And obviously I was sane enough to know exactly what he was doing, because I have known toxic people before, and you would just expect so much more from someone who's pretty much lived their life and who has a child, and who's had a career. You wouldn't expect this rabid dog just coming at you from all sides and taking advantage of someone in a wheelchair. I mean, to me, that's like taking advantage of a child or an older person, a senior citizen. I mean, I couldn't do anything. I couldn't defend myself. I think maybe I slapped him one time because he kept hitting me in the face. But I was balancing on one foot because I couldn't put my left foot down, and obviously I would wind up falling on the floor. But it was awful. It was awful. And I'm not going to dig deeper into the ifs, ands, whens, who, what, where, when, whys. I'm not going to do a deep dive. I just wanted to glaze over the most important facts about my 6 months while I was stuck down there. And he made it a point that he wanted me stuck down there with him. Miraculously, I was able to come back to Brittany after 6 months to truly start healing. Now, because this person, Vlad, had forced me to stand up to clean, he wouldn't even let me heal properly. He would force me to stand up and vacuum and do dishes. My heel didn't heal properly. That's EE followed by EA. My heel did not heal properly because he'd make me stand up. So nothing was normal. And the physical education that I should have gotten, I never got, because I was stuck in this situation and I had no voice. My voice was taken away by him. And my voice only came out when I was able to come back here to Brittany, surrounded by people that honestly care about my well-being, and that were later told about the situation through me. Fortunately, I was able to get the surgery I finally needed after 2.5 years to save my heel, save my ankle, and that's what I'm waiting on. So the PTSD I'm talking about is everything that has followed my departure, the aftermath. When you have PTSD, it's nightmares every night, and I'm saying this from my perspective. I know it's different for everybody, but from my perspective, it's nightmares every night. It's 15 micro panic attacks per day. It's having trouble breathing. It's breaking out in a cold sweat multiple times a day. It's having flashbacks that you cannot control, that sometimes last 10 seconds all the way up to several minutes. It's having a doomsday attitude towards the future, feeling like you're at the bottom of a well, but you can't see the sky, you can't see the sun. You can't see anything, and you're just surrounded by darkness. I've also developed agoraphobia, which means I'm deathly afraid of going outside. Right now I'm healing in this room. I'm not supposed to leave my bed as I heal from the operation, but aside from sometimes going out in the garden to get a little bit of sun, get a little vitamin D, I panic when I leave if I have to go outside. I absolutely panic. If I have to talk to people, my heart races. The only place I feel comfortable is my bedroom and just looking at the world through my window because I'm scared. Because so much damage was done and it wasn't taken care of properly, then I'm frightened. And yes, I'm currently looking for a proper therapist for me, but it's difficult here in this little village in France because of COVID, because sources are limited. So everything takes 10 times longer, but I am doing what needs to be done. Talking about it helps me immensely. So talking about it with you guys helps me. It's therapeutic. And this is me having a voice. PTSD is also thinking that you'll never be the same. Sometimes I think I'll never be the Cheyenne I once was, joking and laughing and having new ideas every day, being extroverted at times, wanting to inspire people, wanting to be a leader creatively, wanting to engage people in whatever it is I'm interested in at the moment, wanting to make people feel alive, wanting to share my passions with people. I feel like I'm not that anymore. I feel like I'm a little girl that's in a dark room with no windows, with no lights. And no matter how many books I read, no matter how many podcasts I listen to, no matter how many journal entries I write and then reread or rewrite on a daily basis, it hasn't helped. So far, talking to you guys, starting this channel is what's helped the most. And when I'm able to teach yoga, that definitely helps. But for my daily life, I feel like a caged animal. I feel like an animal that was born in a zoo and that is now being allowed, being freed. And I'm scared and I don't know what it's like to live in the wild because all I know is that cage. I feel claustrophobic in my own body. I feel sometimes like there is no future for me. I just say to myself, okay, well, maybe just keep writing poems once in a while. And, once I find my little apartment here in the country, it'll just be me and my books, hopefully a dog. I mean, I'm still young and that's already how I feel. I feel like my soul has been robbed of me. It really takes its toll on you when you have to keep all of these horrible things inside of you for so long. And again, when somebody you trust is physically violent, psychologically manipulative and violent, takes your voice away, takes your freedom away, humiliates you, And then you have to suffer the physical repercussions, the mental blockages, the constant emotional panic on a daily basis, which is your new normal. It's like being stuck in a moment you can't get out of, and you don't know who the hell has the key. Some may say, well, you have the key, Cheyenne. But I don't know. I feel like I lost it a long time ago. But that's what PTSD looks like and feels like for me today. So I'm going to finish this vlog, this personal story time right now. And I just wanted to open up about that because it's very important and it's very relevant to me because it's something that I deal with on a daily basis. And I wanted to share it with you. So again, thank you so much if you've lasted till the end of the video. You have no idea how much this means to me. Your support and just being there. It means the world to me. And if there's one person I can help by letting them know they're not alone, then I feel like I've accomplished something. So please don't hesitate to hit the subscribe button. Please leave a little like on the video. Don't hesitate to leave a commentary down below. Maybe you want to share your experience, give your opinion. I'm always happy to read the comments. And don't forget the subscribe button, guys. I know I'm new to this, but your support means the world. I hope you have a beautiful weekend, and I will catch you next time.